Uh, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea.
What I take from it is this it's just that he was just called to do so. I forget he explained it, but I forgot what he said. Basically, he was just that's just the mood he was in.
Okay.
Yeah, that's like I understand that. That's like when I did my channel and turned it to the what you call it transitioning table. So yeah, sometimes you gotta flow with that energy.
We live.
Yes, we are live.
Peace,
Peace.
everybody. Peace, YouTube, all platforms that the Have Vibe Tribe is on. We back another Have Vibe Sunday with the Have Vibe
Peace, peace.
Tribe. How y'all feeling?
Yeah. Peace, peace, family. Peace, peace. It's
Peace,
another
family.
Sunday dinner. What a good time.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
always an amazing time, and we got a good one for y'all this week.
Yeah, I think quite a few people kind of covered this video already, but I haven't heard anybody point out anything that I think we gonna point out. You know what I'm saying?
Now, the minister on Empire 363, he covered it quite a bit though. He was discussing how they was coming at the young brother, and man, it's crazy how the Ray J's reaction, it was so churlish. Ain't that how they say it
Mm-hmm.
now? It was real childish, and it was
Yeah,
unnecessary.
he act young. He act younger than the young man that was speaking. You understand?
Yeah,
Yeah.
To walk out. To walk out, that's pure immaturity. Pure immaturity.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that it was a kind of an ignorant comment too, because they kind of gave their own example in the video, in the conversation, when Kev talked about him not knowing what to do at his age in the wildfire, and his son looking up to him like, "Daddy, what do we do?" Right? So now imagine his son learning from that experience, and then his son going to, let's say, a family member's house or something, and it's another wildfire, and it's a room full of adults, but this kid, let's just say he's 8 years old. I don't know the age, right? Now he has more experience in that. Now he's younger, and all the adults probably gonna be like, "Oh no, you just a kid," but he has
but
that experience. You see what I'm saying? So it's not always about age. It's just about what you've experienced. You can be 80 years old, and if you've never experienced a wildfire, but a 19-year old, a 12-year old has, and they got a little bit more knowledge about, oh, we need to duck under the table. Let's just use for an example. You know what I'm saying? You have that knowledge.
yeah,
Hmm.
facts.
Yep. But the thing about it is not the experience and how close you are to source also, because sometimes you may not have had the physical experience, but you're so tapped into source, he could give you direction in the midst of the fire and say, move left, move right, do the next, do the next. But if you ain't tapped in, you can freeze, you'll be stuck because you're trying to think from your mental capacity versus somebody who's directly connected to source, or even in
Mm-hmm.
terms of maturity. Maturity doesn't mean because you're 60 you matured. You'll be a 60-year-old boy,
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
and you could be a 10-year-old man.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
But
Wow.
I do want to salute all of those brothers though for even taking the time to come together and have that conversation, especially to you know show their vulnerabilities on the internet like that in front of millions of people. I think that was a powerful move. I do disagree with a lot of the way Ray J carried himself, but I do like how he showed Kel some love when he started to get a little emotional. He went over there, gave him a shoulder. I
Yeah,
appreciated that as well. You know.
yes,
Mhm.
yes. And from what we know of Ray J and his, like, he's a good brother. He's a good soul. He just, you can tell that he's going through some things,
Uh-huh.
and he just, in my opinion, he just needs a big fat hug and a stern talking to, a real brother talking to, because your brother ain't gonna let you go out the house with a booger in your nose. You know, somebody that loves you not gonna let you go out the house with something on your shirt and you don't notice that it's there. So that's just what he needs. He don't need anybody that's just using his fame or, you know.
I personally also think, you know, he got a lot he need to get off his chest too, because we can only imagine the things that he's seen being in the industry for so long, the things he's had to keep quiet about. You know what I'm saying? So that probably could have been eating at him too. He's sitting at this table where everybody kind of venting and getting stuff off their chest, and there's some stuff he can't talk about. You know,
Facts.
especially with all these allegations or some of the things that go on with children in that industry. Who knows what he's seen? You know, but you could see, you could look at him and see he was fighting demons. You know, the whole interview was, you ask me.
Yeah. And shout out to, what's the name? CLRZ. Only 12 people here, mate. So how do you work out millions? My brother was talking about the millions of views that the Den of Kings, the video that we're reacting to, brother. You here a little bit late, but we appreciate you. But yeah, it was definitely a hot topic because Kirk Franklin said it the best. He said, you know, we had Christianity shoved down our throats. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't like, oh wow, I feel called to this. And if you feel called to something, that's cool. That's all well and good. You know what I mean? You welcome to believe what you want to believe. And that shouldn't stop two people from engaging in a healthy conversation and respecting one another. Right? I really thought it was kind of crazy how Jonathan Majors, the way he said, you need to read your Bible again, as if the brother's not reading it now and doesn't read it or hasn't read it. You know, and it's like he's speaking on the church, not necessarily the Bible. He was speaking on the church. He said, I don't need to go to church to find my God, you know? And I totally agree with that. Because you don't need to go to a middleman. You don't need a priest to tell you to do 5 Hail Marys and then you'll be forgiven. Who are you?
And that's my thing. That's my biggest question for, you know, do what you want to do, you know, believe in what you want to believe in. But that's my biggest question. And I would love to hear a response from a Christian on that. I mean, how do y'all feel about this religion being forced down our throats? Even Kirk Franklin said he's a Christian advocate. You know what I'm saying? And even he admitted that. So I just wonder why that don't make people want to ask more questions about it. You know, at least wonder why was it forced down our throat like this? You know, because like me and you talked about, Spec. You know, anybody that's selling a good product, no matter what it is, it sells itself. So you know what I'm saying? So why not just leave it out on the table? Hey, this is what we doing over here. You're more than welcome. Why go around and take lives and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Punish people for not doing it. If it's the way to go, if it's source, it's to sell itself.
Yeah.
People should automatically be drawn to it, you know?
Yeah. And not to single out the Christianity belief, but they all did it. All the religions did that. You know?
Exactly.
All the ones that were based on the most high, you know, they all was causing torment to others and forcing them to believe, or getting in wars with others in order for them to believe such a thing. But like you said,
all about control. It's all about controlling the narrative, controlling them. Let me put my thing on. It's all about controlling the narrative, controlling the mindset, controlling the thought pattern, controlling people's behavior and response to their cruelty. You understand? So they force it down your throat. When you go back and do the history search, and this is what a lot of people scared to do. People scared to go and do the research for themselves. Even though even this very Bible we read says, study to show yourself approved, a workman rightly dividing the word. Meaning, if there's a right way to divide the word, there's also a wrong way to divide the word. Why? They use it as a like a control mechanism. So now, when you go back in history, when Christianity came on the scene and people was not receiving it, you can look at some of the tools and the mechanism they used to enforce it on people, like a chair full of nails turned upward. So they would push you down on that chair with nails
Yeah.
to make you say, I believe.
Yeah.
Or another thing, how they would clamp your tongue or cut your tongue out. So there are so many, and I won't talk about the Arab slave trade. The Arab was even worse than Christianity. And still today, when some of these children go to, I can't remember, they call it Marafa or Madafa or whatever the name they call it, and not no disrespect to what it is that they go to, but they beat their belief system into their children. Today, 2025, they still beat their belief system into the children. So that's why it's so hard for people to leave that belief system who've been born in it and grow up inside of it because of the fear that they instill inside of them, beating it into them. So it's all about control.
Yeah.
I think another reason it's hard for people to kind of break away from it and maybe do their own research on it is because it is some things in the Bible that, you know, that do resonate with the soul, you know?
Yeah.
So it's those little bit of truth mixed with the manipulation that makes it like, no, I resonate with that too hard. This gotta be, you know what I'm saying?
Think about it. When you mix a smoothie, you put some strawberries, some bananas, you put some honey, you put some dates. All of that is mixed up inside there. So you have a blend of truth, a blend of control mechanism to soften the palate of what it is. You put that little pinch of poison inside there. So you don't gonna taste the poison because you have all the sweetness that sweetens your palate. You don't gonna know that when you go fishing. I don't know if any of you ever gone fishing. If you go fishing, you don't just throw a hook out there for the fish. You put a little bit of bait on it to catch the fish.
How's the saying go? Every good lie has some truth or most true. Right? So, and that's how they were able to really sell it.
Yeah. So that's why it is so important. It comes back to having a personal relationship outside of people's opinion, people's indoctrination, people's teaching. And I love doing my research. Many of these books and stuff you read and stuff like that, but it still comes down to personal relationship because it's a personal journey that we are all on. And then if you Queen, we take it. I come back to Queen thing. If you ain't staying present, whatever people tell you, that's what you can run with. Okay, they say this way. They say go left. They say go right. Go the next way. And you keep on chasing waterfalls.
Yeah.
You keep chasing waterfalls. You're chasing behind butterflies and never catching them because why you're not taking time to stand still. If you sit down in an open field, eventually those butterflies that you're chasing will come and sit right down on. I've experienced that.
Yeah.
Trying to get it to fall in your hand, running behind it, trying to get it to fall in your hand. And the minute I sit still and sit right there in the middle of the field, the same butterfly came and sit right on my lap.
And what that brother called what he say it was, sister? I think he said the one of two, or all roads lead back to the two, or something. He said, that was powerful.
Yeah. And see, I had never heard that before. It all leads back to two. Because at first I was about to get a little confused, like what are you talking about? But when he broke it down, it's like, okay, I get it. I like that. It makes sense.
Yeah, just you and the creator. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Dr. Sublime made a
and
cool point, because I think like when we think about the religious aspect of everything, we don't realize the fact that we're not using our conscience and we're not using our common sense. If something is a part of you and something is truly what you're supposed to do, it would never have to have been beaten into you. It would have never had to been pushed on you so hard, whether you had to pick or choose between your life or a different life. Like, remember, we heard stories of how they killed people if they didn't claim this religion. Why am I being killed for something that you're telling me that is part of my purpose, that is part of my path? I wouldn't need you to force it on me. If it's part of something that belongs to me, it would gravitate to me without your say so, right? Yep. I heard a lot of them say how, you know, they grew up, most of them grew up in the church. Most of those men that were on that panel said how they cried out to God, and after a while, they didn't believe. Now, these are men that are going to church every Sunday telling these other people to believe in something they are telling you they don't believe. That after a while of them going through their trials and tribulations, just depending and calling on God wasn't it for them. But y'all was going to church every Sunday listening to these same people that told you it was it for you. But their faith wasn't as strong as they told you to have your faith in it for it.
Yeah.
We're not going to ignore that. We're not going to ignore that. Because they spoke clearly and they said it. And he said, well, and they kept getting mad because the guy kept saying, but he was there, was he not? No, I don't think you understand. No, that was ego, because what he is saying is, and what I realize is, what's his name? The young man? I don't follow
NLE, the great.
NLE. The only thing I noticed about NLE was that he understood because he aligned differently with the source. And it's an understanding that they don't understand because they haven't yet to align and get that awakening that NLE has got. So right now he's sitting around a bunch of programs when he's deprogrammed. You can't have a conversation with the program. Because they're going to get mad because it's going against their program.
Yeah.
So it's nothing NLE said that was wrong, and his age do not matter because his awakening hit him before it hit them. That's the only difference. He was able to resonate and tap into source before they got there, even though with age they went through all the cycles they telling him he should go through.
Yes. Smash that like button, yo. Go ahead, Queen. What?
Yep. He ain't gotta go do none of that. Y'all went through all that. Y'all telling him that with age, but he didn't have to wait to an age to tap in. And he telling y'all how to do it, and y'all telling him that it don't make sense to go read the Bible. To read the same Bible you telling me you don't believe in? Why are you telling me to read it again?
Yes.
Okay.
Why are you telling me to read it again?
Yeah. And none of them answered the question. Y'all remember the part when he brought up about people worshiping Jesus more than God?
Yeah.
That's always been a part of mine. I being young, wondering like, so is Jesus God?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No, because Jesus said to get through my son, you have to go through me. But what he was saying is you have to follow the ways I'm telling you on how to get to him. You never ask us to worship him. Because even when I started having my awakening, my spirit said, go straight to source.
Yeah.
Go straight to God. Why are you know, it's no middleman to God. Like he said, it leads back to two. It's not you, him, them. No, it's you and God. And you don't need like granted, Jesus' aspect was given to us to prolong us from going straight to source. Now you're fearing something you won't even tap into to seek more knowledge in. You're going around in a maze.
That's right.
Keep on going in the circle, in that circle, keep you in a loop.
Yelling the wrong name, calling on the wrong name. Why wouldn't you go to source? Why wouldn't you go straight to the one that Jesus told you to get to?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly.
I heard NLE tell them all the ways that I know for sure I know this man had an awakening, because without those ways, you couldn't even have one.
Right.
Meditate. He said, I took a break and I went sit in the sun. I meditated. I asked and I received the messages. Oh, yeah. He went straight to source. Because only when you go do source will you get that type of interaction to even be able to share and let a person know how they got there.
All that went right over their head.
It did, because, and it's okay because Because at the end of the day, he was in the wrong room having a wrong conversation.
Yes.
That's all it was. That's all it was.
People who were not mature
They
enough
might
or
didn't want to hear it, but it's people that heard it.
No.
It's people that heard it. They didn't have to hear, but having him there was a blessing to somebody.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even if they didn't understand it, it's a lot of us that did understand it.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's another thing that made this video, this conversation so powerful, because it's just again showing the great separation that's inevitable to happen. Like you say, you got those of us
two different worlds were sitting in the same place. Yeah.
There you go. Yes.
Yep. You got those of us that understand what NLE was talking about, and then you got everybody else that's just like, oh no, that young man was disrespectful. And I've seen people see a shout out to Queen Poe. I'm gonna mention Queen Poe. And she's a spiritualist. She's, but I gotta heavily disagree with what she said, because she said NLE was he was showing his how young he was spiritually by interrupting. It was a couple of times he interrupted, but I feel like that was more so of he knew the narrative they was getting ready to try to put on them with the Christianity talk. And it was like, wait. Before you even go there, let me tell you where I'm coming from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the rest of the video, he was very respectful, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think he handled it.
He was very respectful. He had to interrupt because they keep on looking down at him. They was not talking to him. They was talking at him.
That part.
Somebody keep on talking at you. You got to stand your ground. I said, hey, hold on. I know what I do.
And he still got some growing to do. But for them to say anything about him, y'all wasn't respectful either. Y'all age don't mean y'all can't respect that man. When NLE was doing was standing in authority of who he was. You understand what I'm saying? He was standing in authority for him. He was protecting him. That's what he was doing. It was not disrespectful. He was standing in authority of what made sense to him. What makes sense to y'all don't gotta make sense to me, and that's okay. But I'm gonna express and tell y'all what makes sense to me and what's working for me. Like he said, I can give y'all advice just as well as y'all can get advice, but it's up to y'all to take it.
Right.
So how you gonna tell me to listen to what you got to bring me and your advice, but you can't take mine?
Facts.
Exactly.
And
I think that went over their head. That went straight over their head, and that crushed a lot. That dealt with a lot of their egos when he said, "I have advice that I can give, but y'all ain't ready to hear what I have to say."
Right. He said, "I can only."
Egos in the room. After a while, that's all you saw was egos. You saw their face expressions. They was getting mad. That was that spirit wrestling in them. That was that spirit in them wrestling.
And when he answered Ray J and he said, "I can only give a man what he's willing to receive," that man said, Ray J said, "You think you can give Jonathan Majors, you think you can give him advice?" Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Sure can.
I learned how to skate backwards from a 5-year-old.
Sure can.
You know what I'm saying? So, come on, man.
You know how many adults that's 50, 60, 70 take advice from me? What are we talking about? Sure can.
Okay.
Sure can.
Okay.
Did you see how the way all their facial expressions was when he told them how old he was?
Yeah.
To me, this is what I take from it.
They were jealous.
To me, I feel like they was all ears at first. Then when he told him their age, that's when it kind of switched. Like, oh no, you know more than y'all don't. That don't mean that y'all do.
And exactly, and to think about it, I know that I'm the youngest in this room, right?
Yes. Yes.
But guess what? That don't mean I can't take advice or take something from you all. Every time we come together, I learn something. You understand? Every time we come together, I learn something. Being the youngest in the room don't mean you can't learn.
At all. At all. Then we've been here, you talking about mental health, and y'all changed the whole thing. When did y'all change everything around for mental health? To be honest, and no disrespect, but they still got some healing to do in the mental health area.
A lot of healing, not just something, a lot of healing.
Like if you want to be honest, and it's nothing wrong with that, because we're all suffering through mental health in some aspect. If we're not aware of what it is we're suffering through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But to be honest, like why I said I didn't have any certain parts to point out is because, to be honest, I wouldn't listen to nothing none of them got to say.
Yeah.
I'm being real with you. Your character don't match what you're trying to express and give to the world. So it's nothing you could really bring me that's, you know, I mean, I might hear something because they said that sometimes don't judge the character, listen to the message. So I respect that. But they're not talking what they walking. They're not
Facts.
talking what they walking.
Yeah.
You understand?
Absolute facts.
They not talking what they walking.
Yeah.
And
this
ain't
brother,
nobody on that panel I look at, follow, look up to, want to hear. No, it ain't.
no. And you know what, sister? After watching that, I went and looked up NLE the Great, right? And you know, his new song, it still got some stuff in it, but it really was, he's talking to his people still, right? But it's so much, it's night and day compared to what he was rapping about. And I look at that, I said, man, that brother is growing. He's going to continue to grow. If he keep walking this path of enlightenment, he's going to be all right, because
hold on. I'm sorry, Spec. I didn't look at his new video, right? But I did see that last one. He was walking the girl like she was a dog. Now I don't know if that's before the awakening.
That was before, yeah. He's only got one song since his new thing.
Okay.
That's why I was saying, yeah, a lot of it. That's why I was like, I went and listened to the new one first, and then I went back and I was like, oh wow, what a change, you know. And it's still got a little stuff, but that, you know, that's gonna change over time, just like Kevin Gates. It changes over time. You know, you got to work that in there because you're so used to being a certain way or whatever. So gradually, you're gonna start to see things differently and have something different to say. So he hasn't really experienced nothing in this field yet. But that 3 months he took off and sat in that grass and next to that tree, man, that's all he got to do is keep doing that.
See, this is the thing. Like, we're all human. We're not perfect. We're imperfectly perfect. So trying to tell somebody what they should do, how they should move, cool. I'm not about that. I'm not. But one thing I do know is you can't serve two devils. You know what I'm saying? You can't serve two gods. And yes, I know that you have a business aspect of certain things and you have the other aspect, but that's why they say all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So, like you said, as we all grow, but when you really walk with the Most High, when you really truly get aligned with the Most High, it's a lot of things you don't entertain because it goes.
You just walk away. Yeah, you just walk away from
it just ain't gonna work. It won't work. Even if you like that authority he had of standing up for himself, he gonna do that everywhere he go. And he gonna say what he gonna entertain and what he not gonna entertain. He gonna say what money he gonna take and what money he not gonna take because he know that falls short of his God. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, he got time. He's young, and just to see him there right now, that's a beautiful thing. So I'm not judging him. I'm not. But you cannot serve two gods. You can't pick and choose because you're going to end up confused. You understand me?
Yeah.
And that's a mental psychosis you can take yourself through if you don't choose wisely.
Yes. Smash that like button, y'all. Smash that like button.
And if you remember, he said that at some point in the interview that he turned down like 10 million or something like that. He said, I think he said, I could have made 10 million over the last couple of months, but I chose to go within during this time. That says a lot within itself. Shout out to Muhammad in the chat. He just said Africa. I don't know if that you just stating that that's where you from, but if that's where you from, shout out to Africa. Shout out to the motherland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So the thing is when you talk about, so they wear it off from the mental health, and you saw just how dysfunctional, unhealed all of them are.
Yeah.
So they got to go to do their shadow work and do some serious deep healing, because healing is a journey. Also, it is not an overnight one time thing. It's a consistent, constant journey.
Yes, it's something you have to willingly choose every day you arise. Every day you wake up, you have to willingly choose to stay on that journey and heal. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to. And it comes with your decisions, your actions, your thoughts, the way you treat people, what you say out your mouth, how you move. All that is part of this healing.
Yep.
It is.
Even the way
And
in the elite laughed.
even how you receive what people say, your reception of how what
Yes.
people say, how you
Yes.
respond to it or react to
Yes.
it, is a part of your
Yep.
healing journey.
Yes.
Not saying
Yep.
everything as an attack. Oh,
Mhm.
why you attacking me? Why you raising
Mhm.
your voice at me? Why you coming at me like that? No. And sometimes we need to learn how to
Mhm.
take constructive criticism.
Yep.
And
Yep. And that's the point I was
especially
just getting
when
ready
you
to
look in the
bring up.
mirror. When you look in the mirror, when you look at somebody, looking at somebody else is also a reflection of yourself. You understand? And saying,
That
okay,
part.
why am I projecting this off of this person? Am I seeing a reflection of something that is inside of me that is not healed as yet?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the part that I really like when NLE laughed when Jonathan Majors told him, "Well, go read the Bible again." He just laughed. You could tell that he was like really want to like. That's one of those laughs that I've been there before. It's like you want to start getting deep, but you don't even know where to start at. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I like how he just laughed it off, like, you know what? Yeah, you got this.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
noticed too, though, like just the overall like what my concept of just watching a video is when it comes to that mental health too. Like, it's really, like I said, it's really deep within our community as a whole. I don't think it's really a color to the
Mhm.
mental health, to be honest. We're
No,
all going through and
no.
suffering through some aspect of it. But I think what really like got out of me is when I sat and thought about it. I think it's the lack of accountability why people are mentally going through some of the things that they're going through, right?
Yeah.
We don't see
Mhm.
that our actions is driving the conclusions and the solutions behind the things that are happening in our lives. And it's like we keep looking for a way out and blaming everything and everybody else, but we're not facing the mirror to first fix ourselves and change our ways and change some of the things that we're doing to cause certain situations and circumstances in our lives.
Yeah.
Like that's where a lot of that mental health come from, because you think the things you're doing, knowing it ain't right, you should still be getting just right actions or just right responses from it. Like it's a lot with that. Like that's why I said it just, I feel like it would have been a great conversation for people that's really aligned and have really came through the
Mhm.
fires and the trials and tribulations of the mental health, where they could really probably have sat and talked more like NLE, because that's a
Yeah.
different conversation. It
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah, that's
It's a
Yeah.
for
whole
real, Queen. That was two different conversation going
yeah.
on inside that room.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
Y'all hit the nail on the head when y'all said he was in the wrong room having a different conversation with different, you know what I mean? Like that was so right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
yeah.
He really
See,
was.
because because for him, even if he had mental challenges, those mental challenges with the journey that he's on personally is telling you that he's in his healing season. The rest of them, they're still in the, it's like the old world and the new world
Mm-hmm.
colliding with one another,
Yeah, they still
Yeah.
clashing,
battling.
clashing.
Yeah, still battling.
Yeah, they,
Still battling.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They haven't even
That's
figured
why I
out.
said it's representation of the great separation that we getting ready to face.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I feel like Ray J could have looked like on the outside with us. They didn't really have to have Ray J on there. I didn't really see no point in having him there, to be honest.
Not at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah.
I didn't. I really didn't. And it's no disrespect, but he could have stayed on the sideline.
I mean, because
Yes.
he
He
ended
could
up
have been
leaving for
watching
half of the show anyway.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm grateful that he was there because it showed so much. Like we got so much out of that interaction between him and NLE, Ray J and NLE. We got so much from that.
two
What
totally
did
different
it show?
worlds. Two totally different
What
worlds.
did it show though? Because that's Ray J. I didn't see nothing different about Ray J than what we've already seen.
No, not from Ray J, but it showed how the thinking is so childish. It's like, oh, I can't take. How you gonna give me advice when this? You know, can you think you can give him advice? Because he looked pointing at Jonathan Majors, because Jonathan Majors is, you know, way older than NLE, but. And they all kind of, not all of them, but a couple of them laughed, including Jonathan Majors. They had a real giggle when Ray J was saying that. And when NLE gave his response, he gave his reply, you can hear Jonathan Majors like give a little giggle, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like, how you gonna give me advice? Bro,
But
you going through some stuff too, gang.
Again, Ray J could have stayed off. But Jonathan and all them, their response though is what it is though, because they are not ready to
Yeah,
heal.
it is what it
You
is.
come
Yeah.
into the table talking
They're
about
not ready.
mental health, but you're
They're
not ready
holding
to
on to
have
their.
conversations. Again, age shouldn't matter.
Right.
Age shouldn't matter. If somebody got
They're
something
holding
that
on
can
to
help you
their.
get on a different wheel, why wouldn't you listen? You might not gotta take it. But that
Right.
right there, that already showed you their ego and they're not ready to heal, because when you ready to heal, you open up for anybody that come into your
Fact.
because anybody may have a message for you. Like you
Yeah.
said, a 3-year-old could bring a message.
I
A
did.
5-year-old could bring a message.
Y'all done heard me say it a couple times how my 4-year-old son done told me some things that I didn't, and I took it and was like, really? And even things
But
he
not only that,
suggested that I did differently, and it paid off. So, like, nah.
it shows you. It also shows you the level of their dysfunction.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It shows you the level of their dysfunction because and not only that, they're wearing their hurt, they're wearing whatever they went through and going through as a badge of honor.
Exactly.
How
That
about that?
part. That part. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
My brother and I, we built this business together, and my brother this and that, and now he's not here. Okay, how many other people have lost people and still functioning and going on? Now I have to take care of his family and my family. Look around you, sir. Look around you.
But
How
did
many
y'all
of us buried our children? You've not even buried a child. That's a brother. You have not even buried a child,
Yeah.
a
did y'all
parent. You
did y'all see when
understand?
Ray J went to
You
bring
still
up the industry? Kurt Franklin was like,
Yeah. Yeah. He
Did y'all
cut
see
that
that?
right off.
Yeah.
I respect Kirk for that because he cut that right off.
Cut him
Yeah.
off because he was trying to tell us what it was, as if we don't already know. But
Right.
no, he just said
exactly.
because he was saying, because that's another thing too. I'm gonna be honest with you. Y'all saying they're talking about NLE, he young and he might not have that experience. Yeah, he don't have that experience that he had to go through all that all that bull crap that they going through in the industry to get where they at. That's
Right.
the only difference between them and them. You
Yeah.
understand me?
That part.
Like she said, they
That
carrying
part.
their badge of honor like they got something to really tell and feed somebody when y'all know y'all ain't been living right in some of the, and a lot of things y'all been doing goes against God before you sit here and
Facts.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Facts.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's why
I
a
You
lot
love.
of them
understand
are
me? So
suffering through the mental illness they're going through because they can't forget a lot of those things they entertained to get there.
Yeah.
exactly.
And I saw that all on Kirk's face, man. Like especially his dealing with like his pornography addiction he had, and he was on, I forget what show, Montel or Oprah, one of them, but he was talking about it years ago that he was going through or whatever, and you can see all that pain still on his on his face, and they're all carrying that, and like this young brother he was just speaking the truth, like, I want to go
Let's put it
direct
like this:
to the
the young
source.
brother still have his virginity. That's all. He still have his virginity.
Yeah. And what he went through to get to where he's at, he used the drill music or, the sliding or whatever, you know what I'm saying? He used the street life to make himself famous and to get himself some money. But he realized at some point that this ain't it, and turned down almost $10 million to go sit in the grass for 3 months. Come on, man.
Right.
Come on. Y'all, you know what I mean? Stop it. Five, for real. That's not no small feat. Because y'all would have took that. Ray J would have ate that up. Ooh, 10 million, I'm going to get that. Same thing with
Absolutely.
Kirk Franklin. He would have went and got that 10 million. Oh, I'll sort it out later. This brother said, no, I need to go sit down. And he's watching everybody else. You got NBA Youngboy locked up. This, that, and the third. YNW Melly locked up. Everybody's locked up. And these kids were young and don't know what to do with their fame that's attached to that street life. They still live in that, but you know what I mean? It's like, sometimes if you don't go sit down, they're going to sit you down. And he got the message from somewhere, and he said he accredited a lot of it to his daughter. He said, if I would have had a son, I would have said, oh, man, yeah, I'm going to make him just like me. But he said, I had a daughter, and that changed my whole outlook. And I respect him for that. I respect him for even standing his ground amongst those individuals who wanted to shove the Christianity thing down his throat. Shove the church, I should say, down his throat.
That's how it is too, man. Them girls having girls will definitely make you change your perspective on life. That's for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yep. So did you want to play one of the clips that you had, bro?
Yeah. I got a clip for us, and I definitely want to play it, and we can get into,
because it was so much in this.
Yeah, there was a lot.
Yeah,
especially from the young Turk.
Yeah, it was a lot, and that's pretty much. I clipped some others, but I'm pretty much only gonna play the clips that was with him because he was the one that really stood out and said anything that had any of value. His responses to some of these guys.
And I watch people get on social media, and I'm like, it's not true, but I couldn't say anything. And I'm saying, God, where are you now? Right? It was like a Job moment, because you're like, why is this happening to me?
But my thing is, I said the road leads back to two. All of these obstacles is for you to strengthen the relationship. That's all I'm saying. So if it's a misunderstanding there, I'm not saying. Hold on 1 second. I'm not saying you're okay. Yeah, man. No, I'm over good. I know it's no rule. I'm not saying it's a set rule on how to be this or how to be that, because one thing me and Kirk is a firm believer of is no man of perfection. It's only a man of progress. Right. My thing is the things that I went through. Same thing you went through, same thing you went through, same thing you going through, same thing you go through, same thing. No matter what age or none of that shit. It's all built to create the foundation of your relationship with the Most High. That's why I said the road leads back to two.
And I think what Jonathan is saying is that in that moment, you can't discern or decipher that.
But
right, it will lead.
In that moment, you can't.
No.
But if you keep
I want to say something real quick. I want to say something real quick.
Make that connection up.
I think.
Yeah.
You see?
That brother went in.
He teaching them, but they are not receptive. He was in the wrong room, the bottom line. He was in the wrong room. The teacher showed up, but the students was not ready.
Yeah.
And that's okay though. And it's okay.
Yeah.
It really is. I feel like it's really okay. And again, you could just see how their spirits was wrestling with his light. His light was outshining them. They didn't like that.
Yes.
And that's what you notice when you rise and you awaken on this spiritual journey. You'll get into rooms that your light will irritate others.
Yes. Sister, go ahead.
Others. And it's going to happen. I've been in rooms like that. And sometimes just your presence will irritate them. You ain't got to say nothing.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
So as much as people could say he was interrupted, we could say everybody was interrupted. He wasn't finished talking before the other guy started talking. Let me say something. He wasn't done. So what are we talking about?
Exactly. That brother said, I'm going to get this point across.
Yeah.
Now, I also resonate with how Kirk Franklin kind of tried to make it seem like he was getting upset a little bit. Did y'all take that away from that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No, y'all was getting upset.
Yeah, they was
because
upset.
I've been there too. It's like people mistake. We get passionate when we talk about some of these things, and people will mistake that for anger. And it's it's my passion when I'm talking about. I'm not upset at all. Like he said, no, I'm over good.
I'm over good. I love that.
Right.
And nothing about his energy was saying he wasn't okay for him to even ask him that.
Right. That's how
right back to your point.
Yes.
Irritating things.
Yeah.
Goes right back to your point.
That's how you know what was really in his spirit, in all of their spirits. You can tell what was in their spirit, because why would you even bring that up?
Are you okay? Yes, I'm more than okay.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm over good. Brother, let me say this real quick. Like, man, he was that light was too bright. That's what it was, sister. You ain't lying. That light was bright and it irritated.
Yeah.
Coming in here, I'm sleeping, and you coming in here with that bright ass light to wake me up.
But do you realize how much we go through that though on a daily? We're all
Yes.
Yep, on a daily
like that where
basis.
we have knowledge and we're willing to share and we're trying to share, but somebody that isn't, and even that never even read a book about what you're talking about is trying to over talk you or tell you something that may make sense more to them than them. But have you even looked into what I'm telling you to even question?
Right.
Before you judge me and say I'm wrong, did you look it up? So, like, I've noticed that on this journey, as we arise and as we seek knowledge and we gain so much knowledge, you have to be mindful because you don't want to drain yourself. You don't want to overexert your energy in rooms that are just unreciprocated to what you got to offer.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta we as much as we promote peace and love and light and all that. You gotta know when to say no.
There you go.
You just gotta know when to shut it down, move around, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot. I can't fill your cup up if my cup half full right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And not only that, too, there's some platforms you gotta just say no to. Some invitations you gotta just say no to.
Yeah. Why even put your energy in that energetic field with those type of energies? You gotta question those energetic fields.
I think
somebody's watching from Kenya, y'all.
There too. I don't think NLE knew, or the rest of them clearly didn't know. But because sometimes people will hear you talking about God and having a strong faith, and they assume that you on the same path as their religion until y'all actually had that conversation. It's like, no, we on different type of times.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? They probably thought they probably heard this brother mention God, and they probably seen him some videos, him changing his life. Oh, let's have this brother on. And once they got to really talking about him, it's we cut from a little bit of a different cloth. You know what I'm
saying? We got somebody watching from Kenya.
Shout out to the Kenya, shout out to Africa. Muhammad.
Habari.
Yes.
Caribou.
Frank.
Man, brother, I've been to Kenya, and when I came back to America, I did not want to leave. So, shout out to you.
Yes.
Okay.
It said like done. Yes. Make sure y'all smash that like button. We appreciate y'all, man. We here Sunday.
And me, I came to Kenya 4 years, going on to 5 years ago, and
Ain't back.
It'll be back since. Can you sweet? Yeah.
Can you sweet? Had that effect.
So, yeah, man. But those brothers.
If anything, I would say NLE probably did know what he was walking into. He knew that he would be the difference in the room, and maybe he just went there to be that. Maybe he just went there to be that. Maybe that was his purpose. Maybe that was his path and something he had to complete.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they didn't understand it or want to understand it, don't mean that they didn't leave there with a message.
Yeah, I agree.
His subconscious heard it, even if they didn't want to hear it.
I think he knew, sister, especially the way
I know he knew because he knows
none of them. Composed. He was so calm. He knew. He absolutely knew. This is how I need to respond. Yeah. Go ahead, sister.
Mastered who he was. He showed up as his authentic self. The rest of them was hiding behind mask. We don't have this conversation with masks. He showed up as his authentic self, and the rest of them had on masks.
Damn, that's a strong point of view, sister. Yes, you just spoke it. They all had on a mask still.
Scared to be authentically themselves and show up as yourself.
Yeah.
I tell people I show up rough, even if I have to show up rough, dry, and show up as me.
Yeah.
But it's an unconscious thing. Them showing up with those masks on is unconscious. They don't understand that they have masks on. And I think we don't realize that too. When you're entertaining entertainers, they have different masks and suits they have to put on. Like you heard we said we got to stop looking at ourselves as celebrities. No, but that's what we are. No, that's what you tell yourself you are. You ain't no better than nobody until you tell yourself you better than somebody. And they was mad because he said that. We got to stop talking about we're celebrities and all that. And you heard the guy, but we are celebrities. Who? Yeah, I mean, in my eyes, y'all regular people to me. But in everybody else out
Okay.
there, they put them on this throne. And when they're on that throne, they have to wear a mask. Because then if you take them off, they're not going to know who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know themselves outside of what they do. That's the difference. When you don't know yourself outside of what you do,
Exactly.
that's a
Yeah.
But that's also why they're all suffering through so much mental illness.
Yes.
It's a mental illness when you're not authentic and know and walking in who you truly are. When you're lying to yourself, that's a dis-ease.
Yeah.
Not being truthful. Walking in dishonor.
Yes. Shout out to Flea. Flea said it was a schizophrenic episode. Straight up facts. They all went through it. You know, aside from NLE, he was the only one. He kept his composure. He's like, listen, I'm just here to send this message to one of my guys my age or anybody that could use this message. That's what I know. That's what I'm here to do, and that's what I'm gonna do. And he did it. He did his thing, man.
This is his authentic self. That's the bottom line.
Say it one more time, Doc.
I said the thing is he showed up as his authentic self. He wasn't trying to impress or become or be somebody else, or he showed up as his authentic self. Like we're talking about, when you're talking about somebody, keep on putting on a play or show. So I need to be a actor. So today you're a lover actor, or tomorrow you're a fighting actor, or whatever screenplay you're playing at that particular time and moment. That's what these people become. And so they never took, like Queen said, they never take off the mask from being something else other than themselves.
Yeah.
But let's
so
also
the mental.
Did y'all realize though how they was mad because they couldn't change his stance? That's what really they was mad.
Yes,
they could not
that's
change.
Right.
His stance. He would not waver. He would not go against what he came to say and what he was focused and stuck on and what he knew he believed in. That's another thing that irritated them.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like people in the comments was getting mad at by them saying, "Oh, he needs to just listen to his elders." No, you know what I'm saying? I couldn't believe how many people was leaving that comment and saying those things. Just like we all agreed. He was very composed. Yes, he had a couple of moments where he like, "No, let me shut that down. Let me finish saying what I'm saying." But the whole entire interview, he was composed. He was letting people get their point across. He was listening. He was making his point. You know what I'm saying?
He was more respectful than Ray J.
Yeah, they was just triggered.
100% more respectful and more mature emotionally.
Yeah. And those people in the comments are triggered.
Everybody want to point out and say, well, not everybody, but a lot of people was pointing out and trying to make it seem like NLE was being immature. He stayed and finished his conversation. I haven't seen anybody in the comments yet talk about how immature it was for Ray J to get up and walk out and, I got to go smoke a cigarette.
Yeah.
That was emotionally immature.
Or how he didn't answer no questions. All his answers were like all his answers were like he was high on something, to be honest. That's why I said he could have stayed out of the conversation.
Yeah. And I agree with the brother who said this off screen, but I'm gonna say it on live. I believe he had to go out to go do something. He had to go do a bump, snort something or smoke something, and it wasn't just no cigarette. He needed to go do something. And that's honestly my opinion. When brother said that to me, because he and I spoke on the phone for a good while about this whole episode, and when he said that, it just resonated with me. Like, yeah, he needed an excuse. He needed an excuse to go outside, say he was going to smoke a cigarette, but he was really going out to do his drug of choice, whatever it was.
Because it was coming back with the shades on for me. That was like,
that's how you know. That's how you know. You ain't fooling nobody. Yeah. And that's
sad truth, but never.
That's what a high person does. That's what an addict does. They come in and they walk in the room like nobody knows I'm high. Nobody knows I'm high. No, everybody can see it, gang. Everybody can see it. You're the only one that's fooling yourself thinking that nobody sees what's going on. Like, Come on, just be just be your authentic self, and it would have worked out a lot better for him.
Mm-hmm.
He would have benefited more.
The thing, and even in all of it, when you look at and the program or the episode was about men and mental health.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they did was they exposed themselves once again. You understand me, to truly where they are mentally.
Yeah.
They expose where they are. They expose where they are mentally. Supposed to be talking about mental health, but mentally they do not have the capacity to accept somebody that is younger than them, who is more awoke and speaking its truth, and who's authentic to themselves. They're not at the state mentally to differentiate or accept somebody else who don't see things the way they see things. Mentally, they do not have the capacity to detach themselves from their roles or their character.
Yep.
So yeah, their mental health. They're mentally health challenged. It's a sad, it's sad. Because so how many people watch them? How many people listen to them? How many people follow them? And this is why people need to know their self for themselves and not just depend on quote unquote somebody who seem to have the status quote or what they call celebrity status or quote unquote money or some kind of fame, because themselves are not mentally sound to the truth of who they are themselves. All they know is that they was handed this script, they was handed this position, they was initiated into this position, and now they're trying their best to initiate other people.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yes.
Facts.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already.
It's and I there's something I thought about for men too, in terms of when men go silent. When men go silent and go inward and really take time to themselves, this young man is a proven proof that when you go inward and take time to yourself, what the result could be.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
The result,
I want to
what the result
that too.
Go ahead.
I want to speak on that too, but I want to wait to see what other clips we have to play, because it's a part that I don't know what's all clips you got, Spec, but it's definitely a part I want to talk about. But I want to see.
I know what part you're talking about, brother, and we might as well get into it before we play this clip right here, because I don't think I have it down, but I don't think it's prudent really to play. I think we should focus more on what NLE was talking, because he was the only one really spitting gas. You know what I mean? Because I don't like when the doctor said, and we got more. The Queen is more of a doctor than he is, in my opinion, because he said when a man is left in his own thoughts, he'll tell him what he might do, and they all like, oh yeah, oh man, he just said something deep. No, when a man is left in his own thoughts for a certain amount of time, he's going to come to some answers he never would have found otherwise. I'm living proof, and Ali is living proof. Jay Hooks is living proof of that.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's the part I was going to bring up. That was a perfect segue into that, Dr. Sublime, because I think his words exactly was, the worst thing that a man can do is be left alone with his thoughts. Yeah. Like you say, everybody was, oh, like, you know what I'm saying? Complete opposite.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, I will agree with that statement as far as brothers like Jonathan Majors that talked about how if he was left alone, he, try to kill us, unalive itself or whatever like that, then maybe you shouldn't be left alone if you in that mental state. But if you not, that's one of the greatest gifts you can have. It's that silence, that alone time to do that shadow work, to face the demons. And it's gonna be scary at first. It's gonna be hard at first. It's gonna be certain thoughts and things that you're gonna have to block out. But once you get past that storm, then you reach the sunlight. You know?
Yeah. And stop me if y'all disagree, right? But is it not? Did you notice that all of them was ooh and ahhing over that statement? That tells you that none of them actually have had that they are afraid of themselves and what they might do if they're left with their own thoughts. They are afraid to think about the things that they've done or will do, and they're afraid to sit alone in silence because, oh man, what do you say? The worst thing a man could be is left with his own thoughts. That's not the worst thing you could be or go through. Are you serious?
But it is.
And that's the one that's calling himself a doctor, right?
No, but it is. It is when you're in a program that you don't understand. It is when you don't understand how to decipher positive from negative thoughts. It is when you don't understand who has the willpower over your vessel. That could be the worst thing you can do if you don't have control over who you are.
Facts.
That's it. Because think about it, even for
pressed on you and beaten to you, and you supposed to fear everything. We was feared to sit within our door, door.
Yeah, because think about it for yourself, Spec, and for you, J Hooks. As men, before you came into this awakening, before you now growing to know yourself, sitting alone in your thoughts wasn't a pretty sight. You understand? Was it actually, I asked the question, was it a pretty thing to sit in your own thoughts before this time now that you're in?
No.
Without the knowledge.
As men.
Yeah. That you so right, sister. And that's exactly what I meant when I said you can tell they haven't reached that level yet. Because
they're still talking about popping pills and taking medicine for their mind. So you already know.
Yeah.
And a lot of men don't sit with their thoughts because they're drinking or they're high.
Exactly.
You're high all day or you're drunk all day.
Yeah. Because I couldn't sit in my thoughts. I couldn't sit alone. I had to be around people because I needed the distraction. Right? I needed the distraction. But once I started
being alone. Men, we fear being alone. We're told that being alone makes us weird. We're weird. Nobody likes us. We're less than.
Yeah. Yeah. But when I started realizing, okay, this is working, let me keep doing this. And it was hard at first for me. It was difficult. But man, that's the easiest thing for me to do when it's okay, let me just go sit outside and just chill and just look at the stars, or sit outside and just soak up the sun and just let no thoughts go through. You know what I mean? Or let a thought go, or just let my mind race with thoughts. Either way, I'm good because I'm constantly on that healing path and on that journey.
I would say for me, I'm a little bit of an exception because I'm an only child, so I got experience with being alone. But I would say before the awakening, if I was alone, I would definitely be more easily distracted and have to look at something, TV or, something on my phone. But I could definitely sit in a dark room, a quiet room for as long as I want to. And I still get distracted sometimes, but for the most part, I can do it a lot better than before. So I would say that would be the difference for me.
Right. Because when you think about it, being alone isn't even a thought for anybody. To sit with your thoughts isn't even a thought unless you understand why you even sitting with your thoughts.
Yeah, honestly, now right now I can't get enough a long time. Like it's a luxury. I crave it.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
See, but the thing is now you saying you're an only child, so you got that privilege of sitting with your own thoughts and stuff like that. And which is a good thing, which is a creative thing. But imagine now, you sitting with your own thoughts now, hearing your higher self talk to you like, or reflecting on as a man now who is being out there on your own doing things and stuff like that, and some of the things that you've passed through before this awakening and stuff like sitting with your thoughts like, wow, I did that. Wow, I really did this kind of a situation. Or like the gentleman who said he tried to attempt suicide. So you can imagine what his thought pattern was in terms of trying now to take his own life.
Yeah.
Why were you trying to take your life? What was so detrimental? What was so chaotic or crazy in your life that make you want to take your own life? What was your thought pattern about yourself that you don't love yourself enough to even fight for your own life, but you rather just give up and take your own life?
Yeah, but we all kind of been in that absence, and that could be anything. Like, think about it: a bad women will go through a bad relationship and say, "No man loves me. I'm not nothing." Then they think that they should leave. This, like, no, it's no reason
Yeah,
for me to be here. Or, like you said, it's
yeah,
definitely things that go on, but it's something about your like you said, your characteristics and how you talk to yourself that's making you think you're not enough, or something you did that was disgusting, and you just, oh my God, I'm disgusted with myself. Oh my God, how could I do that? Like, it's a lot of things, but I don't know, because I've never thought about taking my own life, so I can't even speak on that. But I did have a brother that took his own life, but I couldn't, still I wouldn't understand it, because I've had thoughts that made me feel less than, but those thoughts never overpower who the fuck I am. But that's just me. Because we're all different, and we all carry the weight of our thoughts and how we feel about ourselves differently. And
Yeah.
I do realize, men, I don't know, because like I said, I know some women too, but I do feel like, I don't know how to feel when they say men go do it more than women. I don't think it's like a either or. I just think it's up to your willpower, how strong you are.
yep. Your mental capacity, you aware of where you are at that particular time and
Yeah.
moment and in that space.
Yeah.
What you surround yourself by. Because even watch this, depending on the music you listen to, your thought patterns become censored. If you listen to love music, or you listen to reggae, or you listen to R&B, or you're listening to body and soul, depending on what you're listening to, also could persuade your trend of thought and the way you're thinking. Your environment plays a role in what you're thinking. The people you surround yourself with plays a role in what you're thinking. The movies and the things you watch plays a role in what you're thinking. Watch this. We even sometimes, what we call it, oh goodness, I lost my trend of thought right now. But even in terms of eating, bad eating habits is because of whatever the mood or the thought pattern that we're in at that particular time and moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, let's check out this next clip.
My mama a preacher.
And your mama
You know what I mean? Like,
preacher.
I don't want to talk about that. Like we can talk about, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I feel like, let's cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? No, out of the dark place, right? Like.
I disagree. I disagree.
Well, respect, young brother.
The rollies back to two. No man, no woman, no kid, no pet can, but God can. The rollies back to two. And my thing, but my thing is though, my thing is this: if we understand and connect, man, listen. I just sat down for 3 to 4 months. I took a break. I could have made $4, $5, $6, $10 million. I left it all on a plate to sit down because something in my spirit wasn't right. I sat down. I had to go back home. Got grounded. Stayed in my hometown, the most dangerous city that people crucify. Stayed there, planted my feet there, and went into 112 day seek. Every day I woke up, I went outside with my notebook, and I sat my feet in my grass, and I stood before a tree and in nature, and I just listened. And I wrote down everything. I jotted it. I got a journal. I got 4-5 journals stacked over 3-4 months. It's like a Bible. The Most High God fed to me every day, every second. When I woke up, He'll wake me out of my sleep. He gave me dreams, people that I needed to get away from me, snakes, rats, whomever. He put everything under a microscope in my life.
Watch this. There are times.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You could tell they didn't really receive that very well. You could tell because, and just real quick, hold up, real quick. Let's just listen to what this brother's saying. Right after he said all that, nobody oohing and on. He immediately jumps to like some weird topic. Right? Watch this.
What I can say that my walk with God in Ali has not been enough. And it was hard for me to admit that.
What is he talking about? You know what I'm saying? What you mean your walk with God has not been enough?
I mean, what he's talking about is hearing NLE said how his walk with God gave him all those things. He can admit that clearly because he didn't have that same walk.
Exactly.
And wasn't able and granted all of those things that NLE described in his walk and his alignment with God.
Exactly.
So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, though, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. That's a good point. Here's the thing. According to everybody at the table, he not old enough to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why did you not have the same walk with God yet?
Yeah.
You've been around longer, so you should have had that walk with God. You know.
But we like we know, you know, it's not meant for everybody, and or they not ready, you know, sometimes. So yeah. But you said it, sister. That was perfect. Like
another thing too that I think NLE was trying to point out. It was a couple times he tried to tell him we at war, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it a couple times he said that?
Yes.
Yeah, they I don't even think they was.
Yeah, he said it's a spiritual war going on.
Yeah, Kirk Franklin was kind of trying to get to the bottom of it a little bit, but I don't think the rest of them really knew what he was talking about at all. I knew immediately. I mean, I'm sure y'all did. Of course, I know y'all did too. You know, but I wish he would have got a little bit more time to elaborate on that too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, like y'all, like the Queen said, he was in the wrong. He was in the wrong room.
And I think, honestly, too, though, let's put this on the table too. The topic alone told you what you were sitting around and what you were dealing with.
Yes.
Call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The topic alone let you know what you were dealing with, what type of mindset of an environment you are going to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we have to have some grace for that because that's where they are. That's where they're, you know, that's where their energy is dwelling in.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Facts, sister. You said it right. And it shows exactly where their level of growth is. Yeah. You know, it's not to say they don't have any, but they wasn't on this young brother's level as far as growth and going and sitting in that grass and grounding. He said nature. And that's how I was able to get through to God, you know, because they put all these outside sources in our lives. And we're always looking for something on the outside to save us or to help us or to guide us. And we don't realize we got all that within. We got to go within to bring without.
But I also feel like they was undermining him.
Yes.
There was a point where Kev was like, you know, by us being older than you, you know, back in my day, it was Pokemon or whatever he was talking about. Back in my day, it was Pokemon.
About that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And my niece generation, now it's Gigapets or whatever.
Yeah.
So I feel like they was undermining what he was saying by basically what I took from they was kind of trying to say what you talking about right now was just a phase, and when you live long enough like you have, then you get back to Christianity. That's how I took it.
That's exactly what he meant, bro. You said it just right, because I watched it too. And that part, I had to pause it and just reflect on that. Like, what is you talking about, gang? What is you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean?
But what he's talking about not wrong, because that's the level of his understanding of
right. But
in your mind, what I'm talking about is probably not going to stick, but it's going to stick to me because this is how I align with the God that you're still seeking.
Right. And see, when I pause and reflect, I was like, why is he saying that? And then I had to remember, oh, okay, they are attacking this brother's spirit, his entity. Their entity is attacking his entity. You know, their spirit, it's a spiritual war, like NLE said, right in that room. And I think he felt that too, and that's what made him bring it up. Because I ain't gonna say it came out of nowhere, but the way it came out, it was like he had just felt their energy and was like, nah, it's a spiritual war going on. You know, and he said it out loud. That was just like, that was iconic to me. That was real, that was a real passionate moment for me right there, because I know what he's feeling, what he's going through. And because I've been there, we all been there. And it's like, you know, it's a spiritual war. Like the Queen Oracle always says, you know, I know that this is not the people, it's whatever spirit or entity that is attached to them that is causing this, or causing them to behave this way, or think this way, or say these things, or whatever. So yeah, that was a powerful piece. Smash that like button, y'all. Make sure y'all smashing that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. We cook like this every Sunday.
Because that is one thing that I have been noticing on the internet. You know, for those of us that have these type of conversations and that's thinking this type of mindset, you know, we get kind of thrown under the bus and kind of mocked. You know, so I feel like that was kind of slightly what they was doing. Like, oh, you talking about sitting by trees and all that? That's just a phase. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yet, none of them said they tried. What Kirk Franklin said, he went out in nature, and it didn't work for him. You know, but so I mean, whatever works for you. But again, that's just really how I took that. We older than you. What you talking about? You gonna grow out of that.
Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it didn't work for him because he wasn't looking for the answers. You know, he was just, it's like, you can tell, especially looking at his past and his road he's traveled thus far, he's looking for anything that can help, and he's looking outside of himself for this help. They all are. They're looking outside of themselves. Like Jonathan Majors couldn't help but keep talking about Megan Good. Like, what if something happened to her? Then how are you going to get your inspiration? How are you going to get that feeling that you get? You know, you accredited all your spiritual success to your wife. What happens when she's not around? What happens if y'all don't work out? Go ahead.
That shows you how shallow their personal relationship is on their journey, because they're looking outside of themselves. You understand? Looking for affirmation, confirmation, and everything else from somebody else outside of themselves, when you need to just go within. Which there again, if you're not sitting in that kind of environment, if you're not surrounded by those kind of people, or you're not seeking that kind of information, you will always be looking within. You understand? Because you have yourself so locked into being affirmed by exterior. But because those of us who are on this journey, we were seeking like, there have to be more to life than this. There have to be more to life than this. But for them, because they're not, they think that this is all to life right here, is making money, having success, my family, and that's it. That's why they have to exterior look for approval, applause, claps from other people. Even for myself, I mean, use myself for an example for something. I remember when I was much younger, the people that I surrounded myself with at that time were older people. You understand? And there were one or two of those older people who saw me as what I was, a young girl. You understand? But there again, there was some like, wow, there's some serious wisdom coming out of her mouth. You understand? There's some things she's saying that we can learn from. But that was just one or two who was seeking that level of that was open to getting teaching from somebody other than just being older than themselves. You understand? So for them, because they're so closed in and shallowed by, and then watch this, oh goodness, because they've been manipulated and controlled by persons that were older than themselves. Because look at some of their ages when they came into entertainment and stuff like that, and who were the gatekeepers when they came in. So they're being groomed and conditioned by persons that was older than themselves. Yeah. So versus here comes this young person dropping these nuggets, dropping this wisdom, but they're not open to receive it.
Yeah.
They're not. And guess what? We got to be okay with it. We got to be okay with that. I mean, I'm happy for us on our platform that we could discuss things like that. But there may be other people who seeing this is like, oh, wow, become so disappointed and disheartened and disconnected because they figured, hey, they should have been a little bit more sensitive. But unfortunately, they only can be where they are at this particular time. And if they're only operating their lower chakra and their root chakra, nothing else they could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said. Sister, well said.
Yeah, I'm thankful for the High Vibe Prep that we could come here every week and share and dissect and learn from each other. Nobody's seeing the other person better than the other person, higher than the other person. We could come here, agree to disagree, and bring from our very own perspective and walk away with knowledge, walk away with information, walk away encouraged.
Yeah, with inspiration and
walk away with inspiration. Yes, walk away with inspiration. Every week we could use one another's quote. I could talk about being present, patient, and positive. I could talk about being looking in the mirror for the change you want to see. I could talk about, you understand, the various things that we say here.
Yeah.
Why? Because what you all say has impact or has been, imparted. And not only just imparted, it was received.
Yeah.
Because you could impart things, but it's not received. Like they received nothing that young man said.
Yeah. Yes, sister.
So they walk away empty-handed. If they had just opened up themselves, just to listen and receive what he was saying, even a little, a teardrop of what he said would bring about a change in one of their lives. But I'll hope that they will go back and watch it. You understand, from a different perspective and say, wow, this young man, while I was there, I really didn't listen. But now that I'm watching it, wow, he really was he really was saying some interesting, powerful things. Because sometimes when we in the midst of it, because of the ignorance of our knowledge or the lack of wanting to receive what the person is saying at that particular time, when we go back and regurgitate and revisit it, we're like, wow. Wow. Sound like Galagichi, yeah, Bahamian.
I would disagree with you on that part a little bit, sis. I think that grabbed some of that information. I think they took some of it with them.
Huh?
I said I would disagree.
They took some with them.
Yeah, I think so. I think they took a little bit of that information with them.
I mean, here's the thing, brother. I would agree with that to a certain extent. Like you took some, but you bury it in the back of your mind because the indoctrination is so deep. Right?
Yep, that's all that's needed. So, seed is planted.
Right. And so, like, a year from now, 2 years from now, you know what I mean? Some time from now, at least one of them going to reach out to that brother and be like, man, if I only would have been listening that, but that wasn't meant for you to catch it right then and there. You know what I mean? They won't know that, but I have a feeling at least one of them is going to reach out to him and be like, yo, I
Watch what.
didn't take what you were saying that day when we had that interview, and I had to reach out to tell you, you know what I mean? So,
But watch this. I understand what J Hooks the Great is saying in terms of you did disagree in terms of I'm saying that they may have walked away with nothing not right there and then, but they could go back and revisit it and capture the moment all over again. You understand? Because sometimes when you're in the midst of it, because you're so busy trying to refute what this person is saying, you're not grasping what they're saying. But then when you walk back and you come back and revisit it, then you're like, oh wow, yes. Gullah Geechee, yeah, the Bahamas are some people, the Gullah Geechees, descendants in the Bahamas are also Gullah Geechees.
Yeah. Ain't that where you from, sister?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I'm from the Bahamas.
Wow. So shout out to Coco. What's that? Coco Kisses. Yeah, you knew exactly that accent. I was like, yeah, it sounds like that. Yeah, you hit it right on the head there.
Yeah, you got it. That's South Carolina. Our people came. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shout out to Coco Kisses in the comments.
Shout out to Coco. Yeah. Yeah. So even though they're not my cup of tea, I've not watched any of them, but just because this was we were something off topic. I listened. I listened attentively to hear what the young man was saying and hear all of them. But at the same time, too, even for me, you walk away with, okay, wow, this is the trend of thinking. These are men talking about supposedly supposed to be talking about men's mental health.
Yeah.
But it gone from talking about men's mental health to becoming offensive. Instead of being a wide receiver, you became offensive.
Yeah.
You understand of what a younger person is saying, and they're standing their ground in what they believe.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
why I say I really wish that NLE could have got a chance to expound upon that a little bit more, where he was getting ready to get into the spiritual warfare thing, because the spiritual / mental warfare that we in, it plays a big part of the mental health issues that a lot of people dealing with today.
Yeah.
Enough people just don't know that we are really dealing with deities that feed on this energy. This is why it seems like it's been so normalized.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's the conversation that I don't think they'd be ready for.
No, definitely. Definitely not.
Like the men at this table, I mean, just to clarify, the men at this table, I don't think they'll be ready for that conversation of diving deep into why is it so much mental health.
Yeah, they all had a boys mentality as far as hearing the brother out, because each and every one of them interrupted him at least from one time to another. So when he was you hear him, he was the only one saying yes sir at the table too. Yes sir. Yeah, yes sir. You know what I mean? Like, he was the most respectful one there, and it was because he's no longer under that indoctrination that I gotta be this way, or I gotta wear this mask, or he stood in his truth. Like the doctor in the article said, it was him being his authentic self. Truly, truly, truly.
That's why I couldn't wait to talk about this topic with y'all, because I just couldn't believe how many people was leaving comments saying he was disrespectful and he need to stay in the kids' place. Just stuff like that. Like, are we looking at the same video? And that's just how I know, like.
But you know what the Oracle would say it's all about the programming, right? And so they are programmed just like our parents was. A child is to be seen and not heard, or whatever to have you. You know what I mean? That's how we've been raised.
Respect your elders.
Respect your elders, and that goes to a certain extent, right? You give respect where you get respect. It's not just, oh, I'm just going to give you the respect just because you're elder, but you disrespecting me, you talking down on me, you doing this, that, and third. No, I'm going to just go the other way then. But someone else who's not really walking in this journey, they're going to be ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? What you mean? So I got to still respect you while you disrespecting me. It don't work that way. You know? So
the problem with the elders is they got their own different forms of what respect is and what is not.
Yeah.
It's them.
Facts. That part.
Because if I'm saying something respectful and you telling me it's disrespectful, who wins?
Yeah.
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 Serious thing. Yeah. Because respect is not only just given, it's also earned.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's a serious thing. So mentally, that's why it's so good to be detached and wear everything so loosely, because you can't do not to give your energy over to these things and pull you in and cause you like, these people, when will they learn? You know how you used to get all caught up inside when something happened, you just like, hi, and I always have something to spew out of it. Now it's like, oh, okay, that's how they think. All right, good for them. That's it. Keep on moving. Yeah. So whether they're mentally ready or not, that on them. They got everybody got to do their own soul searching for themselves.
Yeah. Facts.
Soul searching for themselves, healing for themselves. They could go to all. I mean, you can start off with a therapist, but you still got to go within yourself. The therapist can ask the question: when did this happen? Where did that trauma, that childhood trauma? Where did? Because that's. Excuse me, I'm stumbling right now. Where did you get stuck? Because you could be a 40-year-old man, but a 10-year-old boy, because you was 10 when that trauma happened. And then that trauma was never dealt with.
Exactly.
And until that trauma is dealt with of that 10-year-old boy, that 40-year-old man will always have the mindset and the mind thinking of a 10-year-old boy.
Exactly. Which is why age is nothing but a number.
Facts.
Okay.
So for them to sit there and say, oh, you're only this age, but at his age, he has the growth and mentally of a 50 or 40-year-old. Yet y'all are 40 and 50. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said that doesn't have anything to do with anything. His age has nothing to do with his message.
Right.
No, nothing at all.
That's right.
And then remember the shade that Ray J tried to throw when he said, this is why I can be sitting here talking to y'all like this. He said, talking to us like what? You know exactly how, you know what I'm saying? You know exactly how that's all y'all tuned in like that. That's all y'all, when he said who he was, y'all, what? Gonna try to throw that shade, talking to us like what?
Yeah, like what? Like what you know what I'm saying? That was so much ego, like the Oracle said, man. There was so much ego in that room, it wasn't even funny.
He should have never told him his age and waited to the end to tell him.
Yeah,
I kind of wish.
Yeah. That would have worked out great. Absolutely.
But see, the thing, it would have worked out great, but still, you got sometimes, and I agree with what Oracle said, but sometimes people still come with that level of prejudice when they look at you. They try to size you up and stuff like that. And men do that with other men, just like women do it with women.
Yeah, people do it with people.
Right? People do it, you know. Yeah. So sometimes that's the truth, because that's what I used to do one time. Because I stopped telling people my age, because then they said, this little girl, what she got to say? I remember one time I was invited to minister. I was invited to minister, and it was an all men platform. I was the only female. And that's what one of the men said. Well, this woman could come and teach us or tell us. until I opened up my mouth. He was my biggest fan, my biggest praiser. You understand? Because they size you up based on either your gender, your age, your looks, your following. So that's some serious mental challenges and blocks people have.
Yeah.
You know,
Facts.
when they hear the high vibe tribe, what the high vibe tribe? What these people got to say? I ain't really got time to go listen to them until they come and listen to us and they be, whoa, they dropping some serious atomic bombs over there. You
Yeah.
know? They say, oh, only 12 people on there, 12 people, only 12 people listening. There 12 people getting some serious nuggets to go carry to 112 people or a million people.
Yeah.
I don't despise small beginnings.
And that's just 12 people that got time right now. Have y'all noticed the numbers we've been putting up lately? People been tuning in later on, and that's fine. As long as the message is heard, and as long as you able to elevate from this, hopefully, you know.
And here's the thing too. One thing I know for sure, two things for certain, those numbers aren't correct that we seeing up on the screen, because the other platforms, for some reason, the numbers don't come through. It's on, but it don't show here that those numbers for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's the integration between the platforms or whatever, but trust and believe, there's a lot more than 12 sitting there listening. You know what I mean? And there's some people that are just, they got it turned on. They're cleaning the house while it's on. You know, same thing we do. You know what I mean? We running around the house or whatever, but we got the podcast on, and it's the speakers are up, and we doing our kitchen or something, mopping our floors or whatever. Yo, that's what it is. I'm not gonna stop mopping to go and get in the comments, you know. So, hey, as long as you listen, as long as you're getting something from it, and yeah,
That's it. We appreciate every listener,
that's
everyone
right.
that tapped in, stopped by, passed by for a minute, an hour, a half an hour, however long they choose to
Yeah,
tap in. We appreciate each and every one of them, because why? Something that is said captivated them and captured them to listen for the time that they listened in, and that's it. You
that's
know.
right. Yeah. You know, some people got a half hour before they got to head to work, or you know, and that's all they got. You know, so yeah,
I
And
want
there's somebody
to
like
give
me. I tap it for half an hour, then I pause it, and then I come back again and listen to another, and then come back again and listen until I listen to the whole thing.
yeah,
I want to
yeah.
give a recommendation real quick, family. I want to shout out
Uh-huh.
to the brother Dale. Um, Everybody, if you get a chance, if you're on this journey, you consider yourself a chosen one, consider yourself woke, conscious, whatever. I want to recommend that book.
Show
I
it
think
again, brother. Show the book again.
it's called The Sacred Book of the Chosen. Hold on, let me get it right. The Sacred Book of the Chosen by Bradell Rice. Bradell Rice Bay. It's on Amazon. I'm about halfway. I'm a little over halfway through it, and to me, it's the Bible for chosen ones. You know, it's a lot of good gems in there to remind you how to stay on your path and some of the things that you're gonna face being on your path, on your journey. So I just want to highly recommend that to everybody. If you get a chance, go check it out.
Awesome. And make sure y'all smashing that
Okay.
like button, y'all. Hit the share button to anybody you think will resonate with this content. And subscribe if you haven't already. We cook like this every Sunday.
So just imagine, y'all, the type of conversation we'll have with NLE. Cause like we said
Yeah,
earlier in this conversation, he was in the wrong room. So
yeah,
imagine if he was at the table with us,
we're
how
gonna have to
different
get
that
the brother
conversation
on. We're
would
gonna
have
have to
been,
get him on.
you know? Because I would have absolutely loved to have elaborated on him talking about, sitting by the tree and just getting those downloads.
Yeah,
You know, I would
yeah.
have loved to have talked about that with him. And so, I
Especially
mean,
coming from where he came from, like his journey through life, you know?
mm,
Like I especially want to hear his take on it because I know my own take on it, but I want to hear from his side, you know, because everybody got a different experience. So I would love to talk to him about, bro, so you was doing this, you was into this, and then when you got here, like, what was the feeling like? You know, how did you feel? Like, I got a lot of questions for the brother. We're gonna have to get him on here. We're gonna have to get him on the show. That would be a good conversation, I think.
I'll say.
Yeah. That's his journey. That's it. The bottom, this his journey. All of us, you know, it's good to get him because of the spotlight that is on him and stuff like that. But when each one of us give the testimony of our journey to get us to where we at, what we came through, what we walk away from, people be like, "Oh wow, oh that's dope." You understand? Like, all of us come from something. Yeah, I understand in terms of him because he's in the spotlight in terms of being an artist and stuff like that. But if you truly take your time and share your testimony outside of, like, let J Hooks interview you, Spec, or you interview Queen Oracle or something like that, that they talk about, you ask them questions about their journey.
Yeah,
You understand? People understand. You're not just here.
I'm glad you said that.
Just here.
That's a secret in the works. You just gave up. You just gave up one of our secrets, but. Yeah, we definitely want to interview each other at some point. That was
The people be surprised to know where each one of us come from. You understand, to be on this journey like this.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's going to be one for the ages when we do that segment.
Yeah, somebody like myself who walk away from the church preaching the gospel and stuff like that to now in this enlightenment church and stuff like that. You want so much, so we got so much among ourselves that we have not even tapped into.
Yeah, we haven't even scratched the tip of the iceberg yet.
Yeah, we just was busy talking about everything else, but never really look within our own self and say, "Hey, J Hooks, what was your journey coming into this awakening? How did you? What was your turning point to get you here? You know?"
Yeah, we gonna get there though. That segment is definitely in the works. That's gonna be an amazing segment because we all got so many different stories, or not stories, but perspectives, and we got so many different journeys we went through. You know, like myself going from street to from street Christianity / Christianity to Islam to, you know, the true awakening I found now. It's like, man, that journey was sweet, but bitter while I was going through it. But now I see it as it was sweet because, you know, as we know, we don't go through things and things don't happen to us. They happen for us. So, but that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But yeah,
definitely. Your family.
Yes, I appreciate you. Yes, High Vibe Tribe is definitely where it's at.
Yeah, let's finish out this last clip, God, cause it's getting close. Now I gotta leave on time today.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and skip right to we got this one, and then there's one last one, the one between do to do. We gotta do that one, but I'm gonna go ahead and skip right to it while we play it. That way we don't got it. We can cover both clips in one shot. Make sure y'all smashing that like button, family. Please smash that like button.
And they'll say, "Brother, thank you." Because usually, Kurt, it disarmed them from having to armor up. Because usually when brothers go into any space, we're armored up.
Tell me about this war, NL.
Man, it's a war. I mean, we all aware of the war. We all aware of the war. Every day we wake up. You know what I'm saying?
Define it for me. To just somebody who's older, I would love to know in detail from your perspective is because your life is so much more different than mine. I would love to learn.
Is it the war to kill black masculinity? Is that what it is?
It's the war. It's the war of black man, black masculinity. But a lot of people got to understand black man also have feminine too. Feminine on the fifth dimensional level with receiving, stillness, trust, just allowing things to happen and flow within a life. And just, you know, the balance. We're unbalanced. As black men, we want to always do. That's the masculine. Not the feminine, not this. Feminine is receiving, stillness, trust, faith. Masculine is just the power and the act of doing. Once we start to create balance in that area, that's when black men, we become more polished. But the war is that information like that is not groomed to us from yay high. You know what I'm saying? Even,
That's
you know,
good.
and brother, I don't even want it to be a misconception like I'm not understanding what you went through. I don't want you to feel in no way, shape, form disrespected.
No, I don't.
And, you know, I feel like everyone on this table is the
You're doing
utmost
a great
love
job,
for.
King.
Understood.
Yeah.
But, man, one thing that I started to learn and I never understood why in science this stuck with me so much. It's the energy cannot die, can only be transferred. Now, that's my perspective, right? I'm not saying that's how you should apply it to your life. But I can say, man, my grandfather died of cancer when I was like 8 or 9 years old. It scarred me to a point to where I used to be scared to go to sleep. I didn't even understand what cancer was. I thought I was gonna go to sleep and just die in my sleep. I saw my grandfather dead at 8, 9. That was my first dead body. Just recently, I fast forward and jumped from that. Just recently, my other grandfather passed. But the connection, the reason why I say energy can't be died, only be transferred, I'm gonna break down the story. When my grandfather passed, I'm usually able to meditate and connect with anyone on the other side, and I'm able to receive from other realms. Yes, sir. The living. I'm able to receive. Once I went to sleep that night, I had a dream. My dream was my grandfather knew I love guns. My dream was he was at his home, and in the room I used to stay in as a little boy, he took me into the home, lifted from under the bed, pulled out a briefcase, and the dream ended. I was overseas. I was catching a flight when he died. Same thing you said. My mother was crying loudly on the aircraft. We was on the way to Europe. My mother was screaming. Flight attendants had to wear me because I had earphones on. I had to cater to my mother in the middle of a flight because her father just died, right? I went to sleep that night. I had a dream. Once I got back to Memphis, the first place I went to was my grandfather's house to greet my grieving grandmother, but to also go straight to that room in that dream. In that dream, when I lifted up the bed and I pulled out the same briefcase I saw in the dream that he sent me, I opened it up and that's where I found all his hunting rifles. So when I say energy does not die, it can only be transferred. How did I get that dream? How did I know it was guns under that bed if I never knew it was guns under the bed?
Susan Collins voted to shut down the government to help Donald Trump take away.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know. That guy comment to me was weird when he said, "What is it?" When he's like, what he was talking about with the male masculinity. That comment was a little off key for me. Like, was he trying to be sarcastic?
How it resonated with me was he was saying that men have male and, you know, we all have masculine and feminine.
No, I'm talking about the guy in the green. When he spoke, he had said something about what is it? They trying to do something with male masculinity. And to me,
defeminize, demasculine men.
Yeah.
But
like, I took that as
everybody know that's what they're doing.
Right.
Yeah,
he trying.
But he got that bandana around his neck like he not fitting into it.
Okay.
Yeah, the scarf, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's silk too. It ain't even like the bandanas that we know. It's silk or something.
So it's like he was trying to be sarcastic before NLE answered his question. That was like sarcasm.
Yeah, you might be right. I never even looked at it like that, sis. You might be right about that. Because I think he was taking it I think he was taking offense to, you know, we all know the war, and it's like, what you mean? It's against male masculinity? Yeah, it sound about right now.
Yeah, like just start that little piece over and hear how he said. Man, I'm just looking at him like, but you got that scarf on your neck, so ain't you playing too?
Yeah.
Kirk, it disarmed them from having to armor up. Because usually when brothers go into any space, we're armored up.
Tell me about this war, NL.
Man, it's a war. I mean, is that information like that is not groomed to us from yay high. You know what I'm saying? Even,
that's
you know,
good.
and brother, I don't even want it to be a misconception like I'm not understanding what you went through. I don't want you to feel in no way, shape, form disrespected. No, I don't. And, you know, I feel like everyone on this table is the utmost love for
King.
Understood. Yeah. But, man, one thing that I started to learn and I never understood why in science this stuff with me so much.
Sarcastic when he mentioned that.
Okay.
And that didn't really make sense to speak on that because I know what he talked about, you know, them with the men with the dresses and them wearing, but it's like you playing into it too right now.
Right.
Yeah, you playing right. Yeah.
I personally don't think he was being sarcastic, but I do think it boils back down to the lack of information. And I wish we would have had more time to cover this because it's a lot that can really be said about that little clip with him talking about energy transferring and things like that. But that's the problem. They're uninformed.
Yeah.
That's one of the warfares that we in, but there's so many more. You know what I'm saying? That's for sure. That our masculinity is under attack, but so is our vibration. So is our health.
So is the femininity.
So is our connection from source. All of these are the warfare. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts.
And the main thing though is it all starts with our mind.
Right. And the fact that he went to that first, that's the battle he's dealing with right now, probably. You know what I'm saying? Because my first response would have been the spiritual and mental warfare. That's what I would have mentioned first. I wouldn't even. Again, that's one of the issues, but that's like kind of at the back of the list for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you say, he got a scarf around his neck, so that's probably his war right now. You know, but
yeah.
He's trying to find his masculinity, but not knowing how to balance it out there again. You understand? Because we know that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to demasculine the men, especially those that are in Hollywood, that are in entertainment and in that arena. They are trying to demasculate them, but that was not the question. You know, just don't try to, make the young man feel incapable of answering the question.
Right.
He did a beautiful job in answering it. He answered it very well.
Absolutely. So yeah,
they didn't throw him off of his. They didn't throw him off his frequency at all.
Nope. And you can see Ray J gives it he gives it a real shot to throw him off his masculinity, and that's why I saved this clip for last. Whenever this one was the.
Ray J looked like a creep on that show the whole time. Looked like he was eyeing them down, and like I said, he could have stayed off of there. He looked like he was trying to get a number more so than be on the damn pack on the pack.
Right. He was so high too.
Yeah.
You could tell he was high.
You feel like you're at that experience level to where you can tell these and give these some advice.
Do I?
Really? You know what I'm saying? Do you feel like you can give Jonathan Major some advice?
Do I feel I'm at that level?
Yeah. Not successful.
No, that's a good question.
I'm talking about experience.
Knowledge-wise, right?
Yeah. Do you feel like that?
I can only give where man is willing to receive.
Exactly.
That's right. Bottom line.
Exactly.
Now listen to what Ray J. Listen to Ray J's response.
That doesn't make any sense. But
That doesn't make any sense.
It looks to him because he's not a man.
Oh,
He's not in that man aspect of himself yet to even understand what he just said.
Yeah,
How don't it make no sense?
That was over his head. That went straight over his head.
yo,
That went straight over his head.
when I watched this for the first time, I paused it right here. I said, "Man, this is exact. I know this is what my brother was talking about." Because Jay Hooks and I had to hang up. He said, "Bro, when you get to it, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. When you get to it, call me after it's done. That we can talk about the whole thing." But he said that don't make any sense. I said, "Man, this dude is high."
That went over his head. That was over his head. That went right over his
under
head.
his feet. It missed him completely. Wow.
I don't know. It irritated. This whole thing kind of irritated me, to be honest. I wasn't like, I didn't, for real, like, I didn't care to hear most of them speak because they just wasn't making sense. For him to say he didn't make sense, but you make sense. And then you trying to speak about a whole table feelings when their feelings don't got nothing to do with you. Why are you trying to talk about these men and what he can give them? If he can't give you advice, that's fine. But don't speak and say what he can give to somebody else.
Yeah, it's like you said, sister. I think he was trying to catch.
Yep. That does just answer the question.
Break it down.
Do you feel like your experience in the world that you can give Jonathan some advice?
If he's willing to receive.
That's way, yeah. I need to smoke a cigarette.
So let me jump in and say
I'm trying to think that's funny though. Like, what's funny?
That's the part that triggered me. Like,
yeah, like what's funny?
Oh my goodness.
Like, what's funny? Y'all all goofy at the table because what was the joke?
Right.
Exactly.
Right, and this man Jonathan laughed. Look at the way he laughed, like this dude is actually saying something.
If he's willing to receive,
that's way, yeah.
All of them.
I need to smoke a cigarette.
But they all put
So let me jump in and say this.
Look at the
I want to say something to you, Jonathan, and I want to be able to give a transparent moment.
That's
even
great.
Kirk had a grin on his face. He said he could give them advice, but if they're willing to listen,
yeah.
The one thing I can say is I like how Kurt Franklin kept shifting the room. That's what I will say. I like that he kept shifting the conversation when he know it wasn't about to get nowhere and he understood the assignment. Well, let's move on because again, I liked that about Kurt Franklin. That was the only thing. But yeah, that whole panel, it wasn't given to me. Like I kind of that's why I said I can't pick out parts because to me they were trying to pick somebody apart when they haven't even finished picking themselves apart.
Facts.
Exactly.
Facts.
Yeah.
Which is such a good thing that we cover in this because we're speaking about we're dissecting it with a microscope in ways that other platforms and other creators have not done, you know. And shout out to the minister on Empire 363 because he definitely he shed his light on the whole situation. But there was a few topics and a few different points that he didn't cover, like J Hook said. Nobody covered it the way we was going to cover it because we really dive deep to say they are attempting to emasculate, to break down, and to shut down this young brother's his newfound enlightenment.
That's what the devil does, though.
Yeah.
I just watched it. I don't know what nobody else spoke about it because, I don't watch this stuff. I just gave my perspective of what made sense and what stuck out to me. And it's just a perspective. There's no wrong or right. I'm not saying I'm right about my understanding of what went down, but from what I seen, I just gave what didn't resonate and what I just felt like didn't sit right with my spirit. That was just me, and that's just my perspective of it. Everybody has their perspective, even those that are rehearsing and going across the video and giving their example of what they think should. It's just our perspective.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not judging nobody. At the end of the day, we all have to heal. We're all going to be on the healing journey. We all are still healing. But I just say to say that when I get on certain platforms, though, I want to come in my most authentic self. But that's just me. Again, I know who I am. And it's a lot of people that don't know who they are.
Yeah.
That's it.
And when you get around people like that, you have to know how to read the room. And you have to know that honestly, the biggest thing is silence is better than anything. I don't feel like NLE should have stayed silent at all. But like in certain situations, some people not even worth the energy.
Yeah. Ray J could have stayed silent.
Yeah, he could have stayed home.
Yeah. He could have stayed home. He
I
was
like
high.
that.
He was high as a mother. You could tell just, and then the way he kept looking across the table, like you said, sister. Why is he looking at people like that?
He
Just
looking
glancing and
trying to
like,
bag nothing. Like,
yeah, and it was a good gesture to give the dude a shoulder to cry on or whatever, you know what I mean? But he got up and he was rubbing his shoulders, and it just seemed like he was overdoing it.
it seemed Ray J-ish.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Man, this was a good one. This is a good topic though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Because that brother, that young brother, he's on his way, and it's, I'm very proud of where he's came as far as he's come, especially coming from where he comes from.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting that in the music industry and with these rappers, these new rappers nowadays, what they calling them YNs, these young brothers or whatever, they talking about, offing each other and drugs and we already know what it is. We don't got to go down the list, but for him to come from that to this, I'm super proud and excited to see what he turns into as he continues to walk down this path and on this journey.
With this path and this journey is commitment to it, though. I've met a lot of spiritual people that they'll get on this path, they'll head towards the journey, but something sometimes pull them back.
Yeah,
so
yes.
Just, I pray that he's committed to this path and that he's committed to building and growing strong in his faith and his understanding. Because again, I've met so many people, men and women, that they'll start there, they'll be there, and next thing you know, they're back to what it was and acting like they never even had the knowledge or gained the knowledge that they do have.
Yeah.
Again,
committed to it, and
channel though, to know that it is other people awakening and rising in their spiritual alignment, and that it is possible, and that we're not alone. As much as a lot of people say they're alone, that gave a clear insight that y'all are not alone. Like, it's he telling you, and I know that everything he said, they could relate because they've been through that same path, because that is the path, that is the road less traveled. A lot of things he gave and a lot of characteristics he shared on getting to source is accurate to the T.
Yeah.
Accurate to the T.
Yeah.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
But you right, sister. Commitment is everything, because we just had a brother that went back. King Ryan went right back to the indoctrination. He was on path and everything. He went right back. So it's all about commitment and staying on it, and not letting the outside influences take you, back to the familiarity of.
I gotta run, family.
Let's close out the show. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't even got time to do that. I don't went past my time already. But J.O.'s the great. Shout out to the tribe. Shout out to everybody that tuned in. I love this conversation. I love the conversation that they had, and I loved our perspective on it. And hope everybody learned something. Until the next time, peace and love.
Ashe.
The rest of your day.
Yes. Enjoy your day, brother.
Yes. So, yeah. So it's so important to be, like you say, show up as your authentic self and not having to worry about others' opinion, but respecting their views at the same time.
Exactly. Being okay with being different and somebody having a different perspective from you. Like again, it goes back to this being a land of the free. That's a free mind as well. You have to be okay that sometimes that free mind won't agree with your mind. Like, that's what makes us different. And that's okay. That commitment and that willpower is what's going to keep you motivated. It's about willpower. Like, anybody that takes back is because they haven't fully stepped into their willpower. When you know your will and you know your purpose, can't nothing change that but you.
Yeah.
So what's up?
And the other aspect is what I was thinking, but when you was talking earlier with him and being on this path at his age, and sometimes people revert back. that the pressure of the industry and wanting to make that money and all that different stuff don't cause him to renege on what he already what he now believes and what he's now stepping into. You understand? Because that pressure of the industry, that pressure of wanting to succeed and wanting to make that paper could cause you to for them to try to silence you and you give in to them silencing you.
That's so true. That's so true. But that's when you decide if pressure is more lucrative than your peace. And that's when you say now he got all those followers, he got everything where he can actually start a business doing something else that can get him out of the industry and get him out of the pressure.
Yes.
But it's up to him and his willpower to now take what he had to use for his betterment of his good. He don't have to stay there. Now, if you tell yourself you're stuck, then you're stuck. But if you know God and you believe in God and you know that all things are possible and that this is your path and this is your purpose and you know that God has something greater for you.
That's right.
But that's up to you to believe. That's up to you to walk into. Again, it goes into all money ain't good money. And you got to know when to walk away from things that do not serve you. And if being in that industry no longer serves him and his spirit and his alignment, then he know what he will have to do.
That's right.
Have to do.
Yeah. Man.
Well,
yeah. This was
a beautiful another beautiful Sunday. Another beautiful Sunday dinner together with the tribe, you know. Yeah. Our perspective from our various perspective.
Yes.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All is appreciated, loved, and respected. Yeah.
Yeah. We come from such a place of love too. It's so authentic. It's just, you know, like that brother he wouldn't have felt, or I'm sure he didn't feel like he knew what was going on, so he didn't let it bother him, but he wouldn't have had to endure any of that, any of those comments or any of those weird questions, you know, being in a different room. Like the Queen said, he was in the wrong room. But at the same time, he wasn't. He was meant to be there to, you know, to get a lot of other people thinking about, like, man, okay, wait a minute, this brother was speaking some good stuff, some good facts, but these guys weren't even receiving it. And that's going to enlighten somebody to say, wait a minute, maybe I need to take a hard look at something different than what I was, you know, receiving growing up. And that's important too, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sure he tapped in past their carnal mind and tapped into the spiritual mind if it was open and available to receive. And if not, that's all he could do.
Yeah.
It's not our job to change and transform people. That's up to them.
Yeah. Right. Because we can't make a butterfly exit the cocoon and turn into a butterfly, go from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Only the caterpillar.
You cripple it, or you disable it. You gotta let it go through its process.
Yeah.
You know. And so you only could give the information, like we're here every Sunday giving the information, giving our perspective. It's up to the listeners to take what they need from it and go, you know, and apply it or use it, or, you know, go and research and study.
That's right.
But that's our job, to come together and drop the information.
Yeah. That's why I always say you can lead a person to the water, but they'll only drink if they're thirsty.
Fuck.
Yeah, so tribe, we hope y'all picked up some type of knowledge today, just as our expression on their impressions. Hopefully we was able to, you know, just give a good outlook on what made sense to us and what connected with us and what sat right and kind of, you know, came through a different vessel or a different view for us.
Yes.
That's it. And so appreciate you, our listeners, and you know, and you coming and tapping in and listening in. This is Dr. Sublime, and my perspective on on mental health and men's health is seek the help. Seek the help that you need. First and foremost, if you scared to sit down by yourself and to yourself, seek their help and then be able to gain your strength to be able to sit down and listen to yourself and where you are at mentally. And there again, I also on this video, let us not be so hasty to not want to listen to somebody else's perspective on something, that we are not the know all on everything. We're
Yes.
always learning, unlearning, and relearning. No matter what it is, we could have a PhD in something, and there's still something new we could learn in that area. And so we gotta be open to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And like I always say, we are on a journey. So let's be gentle with ourselves. Peace, family.
Ashe.
Ashe. It's the Oracle Empress Queen P. Everything she said. But yes, no, just definitely focus. Stay committed to this journey. Stay committed to your dreams. Stay committed to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and changes always start with you. The biggest thing on mental health is that everything starts in the mind. It's always mental. It's always going to be a mental health issue until you get your mental together and you help it. You make it healthy with your thoughts, your characteristics, the things you entertain. It's up to you. If you don't control your mind, someone else does. And that's taking authority over you. So until we meet again, guys, next Sunday, we're going to be cooking. I want everybody to have a great week on Purpose with Purpose. Stay present, passionate. Stay present, patient, and positive. I know something amazing is going to happen to every one of y'all whenever y'all hear this. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Let's start living. Peace be.
Yes.
Ashe. Man, I gotta follow that. So everything is just the same. And I'm just gonna add, we have to focus on the change we want to see for ourselves. And you can pick up something from us, you can pick up something from another person or another podcast or anywhere, and you can put all of those things into one thing and create your own journal, create your own Bible per se, and let that be your guide, because there's no one size fits all. So make sure y'all remember that and tap in with us every Sunday, because this is the type of glad tidings we want to bring to y'all. We're not going to ever say that this is the way you do it. We're going to tell you how we doing it, and you can take that and apply it and try it. And if it don't work, you can drop it and leave it and then move on to something else. And that's how you're going to find the best version of you. So with that being said, I am Speculum Ambulo. And I want everybody to remember that means I am the walking mirror. So be that walking mirror in your own life and look in the mirror for the change you want to see and love your journey. Peace, peace.
Ashe, peace, family.
Ashe, brother, buddy.
Yes, peace.
Yes.
You guys have a great week on Purpose.
Peace, family.
All right.
Yes.
All right, peace, family.